There are a lot of ways to measure the downfall of a society, but observing the art that society produces and the stories that it tells about itself is certainly one of them. As the stories decay, the art becomes more hideous. It can see the society is in decline. This is how Hollywood, for instance, told the story of Homer, Achilles, Helen of Troy. These were the casting choices 20 years ago, and these are the casting choices today for the same characters. And what does that show you about where we are as a society and what's happened to us? A fentanyl addict overdosing in Minneapolis really did break the brains of so many people in this country. We can get it back because the backlash to the Odyssey's newest and last trailer before its release in just a matter of days is nightmarish. Not just nightmarish, it's historic. Now, I woke up this morning seeing that the Odyssey didn't just get ratioed. We recorded yesterday that the Odyssey new trailer got ratioed on YouTube, and it had 50,000 dislikes. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you go ahead and check right here, this is the dislike detector. It shows you in real time the dislikes that have been hidden by YouTube. You will see that the Odyssey now has over close to 5 dislikes for every 1 like. 220,000 dislikes. This is exactly why YouTube got rid of the dislike button, by the way. 49,000 likes. You can check right here and see that at 49,000 likes, that's accurate. It does have live 49,000 likes right now. 3.6 million views, which is a far cry from the 20 million views that the original trailer got. So less people are watching, more people are zipping in just to dislike, and this has become the fastest, most disliked trailer in the history of Hollywood. This has beaten Snow White, which held the title previously for the most disliked trailer. And why? The answer to that question is right here. This frame alone is enough to destroy your franchise. This frame alone shows people everything they need to know. This is one of Achilles' greatest warriors, that this is just going to be a retcon rewriting of history in order to create some type of black and intersectional and woke fantasy that never existed. For the life of me, I can't figure out why they can't just write new black characters, right? Like, why can't you just make a Wakanda? Why can't you create a mythos that's from Africa, or include, like, there are plenty of iconic black characters in Hollywood. Why do you have to go back into stories that have already been told and race swap? And we all know why. The answer is the Oscars have forced us to do this. The Oscars won't give you awards if you don't do this, but also the directors in Hollywood don't want to be accused of being racist. So when you tell a story that includes 100% Greeks, and oh, by the way, there are Ethiopians in the, have you ever read the source material? I don't think anybody who's on the set of the Odyssey read the source material, because Odysseus interacts with Ethiopians. They're some of his friends. They happen to be extremely dark skinned, black skinned. There's actually a word for that in Greek. And they talk about being from Ethiopia, and they talk about the adventures that they could have in Ethiopia. And so it's a real place. And so there are actually black characters. This is just like with Harry Potter. Snape isn't black. There are black characters in Harry Potter. You don't have to race swap pale, sallow-skinned, milky white characters to get your diversity checkbox. You could just maybe highlight or elevate some of the Ethiopian characters that are already existing inside the story, because there were black people when they told the story. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's a Greek story. Hollywood could invest in telling stories that center around black characters, but instead they race swap. And they transgender swap. They gender swap, race swap. This is what's going on right here. A single still frame has dismantled any hope that this film had for a box office success. That's exactly right. I really hope I like Christopher Nolan. I've seen the movies he's made, and despite some obvious flaws, he's an exceptionally talented filmmaker. I'm going to see the Odyssey on opening weekend, but I absolutely do not understand the choices he made here, because the memes have now become the story of this movie. The memes Helen of Troy, right? The memes have now become more powerful than the movie. Homer is turning in his grave. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the end results here.
Asked to buy Kool-Aid. I didn't do nothing. Shoplifting ain't against the law. I asked to buy Kool-Aid with food stamps, and y'all said you don't do that no more, but I gotta get my nails done. I didn't.
Okay. Like, you made the memes. You made the meme. By forcing this on us, you've created the vectors for these for the world to realize that this isn't you trying to do a faithful adaptation, which Christopher Nolan can totally do. What if Batman was grounded in the real world and not some type of trippy acid fever dream like, Batman that we got a generation ago, right, with George Clooney, bat nipples? Christopher Nolan did that, and I think the vast majority of people that consume that series are thankful that Christopher Nolan went there. Christopher Nolan has made World War II epics. He's British, right? And so he told Dunkirk. I didn't see any race swapping or gender swapping in Dunkirk, as far as I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was none of that. So where was that? You're doing this. Christopher Nolan's doing this right now because he wants to win awards. Like, those movies were made before Hollywood made a box ticking cult that insisted that you have to put a certain number of black people in your movies. And that's exactly what they did. So lazy. Why not just write black mythology? Why not just create black characters? No, instead they have to put Travis Scott rapping in the Odyssey. And whatever the hell this is. What's going? Is this blackface? Is this what you're doing? This is blackface? Yeah, Hollywood always ends where they begin, right? Blackface. So it's only going to end one way, right? It's going to be a nightmare. Athena. This is supposed to be Athena. Everybody's losing their mind. This is like Odysseus has a Boston accent. It's gonna be a nightmare for them. It's gonna be a nightmare for them. My entire timeline is just Odyssey memes. 200,000 dislikes on the Odyssey trailer is so embarrassing for a Christopher Nolan blockbuster. First clear look at Helen of Troy. Again, the industry that you're in, you've forgotten the industry that you're in. Dialogue from the Odyssey. My daddy's coming home. You're pining for a daddy you didn't even know. The point of Hollywood is to tell stories that can you can suspend your disbelief, right? And live inside of the world, live inside of the universe. But the universe has to have tiebacks to a reality that you can believe. You can't believe that this is the woman that launched 1,000 ships. You can't believe that this is the most beautiful woman in the world. You can't believe it because your eyes tell you otherwise. Your eyes should also tell you the comments on the YouTube trailer are going to be incredible. The face that emptied 1,000 seats, right? The face that launched 1,000 Hans. Downtown LA edition. I came straight to the comments. I'm surprised they forgot the rap music. The face that launched 1,000 sheets. Peak Hollywood garbage. Never seen so much hype for a school project. The gods can eat my shorts. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? The California Odyssey. Shout out to Universal for leaving the comments on. Official countdown, is that a threat? Look at me on Helen now. Gotta be a humiliation ritual. Nolan, the music needs to be what existed at the time. Historian, whatever you say, Dad, you never leer. The Greeks, no Greeks were harmed or hired for this Greek tale. That's right. For the people that constantly bang on about representation and how we need actual minority representation, well, there's not that many Greeks in the world. They're a literal minority. And they wrote this epic tale that has existed for all time and that has been taught for thousands of years. And you're going to give them no roles. It just shows that all of it's fake. It's real. My entire timeline filled with these memes. And what's real is the actual dislikes on this. movie that's gone up by 3,000 since I started this recording. Yeah. Go woke, go broke. That's the iron law. A lot of stuff in Hellenic Greek are about iron laws, while this is the iron law. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't watch the Odyssey, but come to our channel and laugh at it with us.